Did you know that while preparing a delicious dinner for your family, you might actually be serving them an incredible poison? Watch this video until the end. Don't ignore the information you're about to hear. And be sure to share this video with your loved ones, your family, if you want them to take care of their health too. Because many scientific studies confirm the same fact. When you cook groats in plastic bags or bake meat in a plastic oven bag, up to 30 billion nanoplastic particles get into your food. Can you imagine that number? That's definitely more than the number of cells in our entire body. What's the worst part? This nanoplastic, this huge amount of particles poisoning our bodies, does not get eliminated from the body. It just stays there, accumulates, and destroys our cells. Do you know what happens in our bodies when these particles accumulate in the lungs, in the heart, in the brain? They are even found in the placenta. And numerous medical journals write about this. There are a lot of studies on PubMed. The thing is, we absolutely ignore this topic because these particles are very tiny. We can't see them with the naked eye, and that's why we think that if we can't see something, there's no danger. But that's exactly where the huge danger lies, among other things. They are so small that they can even penetrate the cell wall and damage the mitochondria. When the mitochondria are damaged and the cell loses energy, the cell actually stops functioning normally. And depending on which organ has those damaged cells, that organ will start to fail. Research also shows that nanoplastic destroys the DNA of our cells and causes mutations. And mutations mean the development of various types of tumors and cancerous changes. Various neurodegenerative changes also occur in the brain if nanoplastic accumulates there. And it's known that it can cross the blood-brain barrier. And there is also a huge amount of research on how it can destroy the integrity of our intestinal lining. Normally, in a healthy person, when the intestinal lining is healthy, its cells are packed tightly together. They create a kind of protection and don't allow unwanted substances to pass into the bloodstream. However, nanoparticles that destroy cells also destroy this protective barrier. They make the intestines leaky and toxic compounds that are present in the intestines. And not fully digested proteins, bacteria, toxins, and even the nanoplastic itself pass into the bloodstream. And through the bloodstream, they spread throughout our entire body. That's when our immune system kicks in. It reacts to everything that has entered the bloodstream. And widespread inflammation develops, chronic inflammation throughout the entire body. And people are surprised. What am I doing wrong? I eat well. I generally lead a healthy lifestyle. I don't eat junk food. Where is all this inflammation coming from? Very often, it's actually from this nanoplastic. Let's also remember that it's no coincidence our intestines are called the second brain. There are 500 million neurons there, and they communicate with our central nervous system. The intestines communicate with the brain through the vagus nerve. The brain communicates with the intestines. It's the kind of connection that allows everything in our body to function. The brain also gives commands to different organs, and when changes or damage occur here in the intestines, the work of these neurons gets disrupted. There isn't proper communication. All of this starts functioning differently. It stops working properly. Many people experience something like brain fog, memory problems, coordination problems, dizziness, overall instability of the whole body. When we say that there isn't a serious illness yet, but something in the body just isn't right, we know that something is happening, but we just can't see it with the naked eye. But when we become aware that it's plastic that's harming us, then we'll know what to pay attention to and what needs to be done. What should we do? The first step is to stop cooking in plastic bags and baking in those oven bags, which are also made of plastic. Of course, someone might say now, what about those bags? Look at how much plastic there is everywhere. That's true. Indeed, we are surrounded by plastic everywhere. And we are noticing it. That's already a plus, although unfortunately it can already be called a catastrophe, an ecological one. How much of all this is in our seas, in our rivers? How much trash, piles of plastic are lying everywhere? All of this breaks down into microparticles and later ends up in plants, animals, fish, water, and air. We breathe it all in, eat it, drink it along with the plastic. That's why there's plastic in mother's milk. They find nanoparticles of plastic in newborns' blood. So how is a person supposed to be healthy? But still, my dears, that doesn't mean we should just shrug it off and say, oh well, what harm can it do to me? It will harm you because when plastic is heated to a high temperature, it breaks down into a huge number of those tiny particles. Scientists say that 30 billion particles are released from just one small plastic bag into the water where we later cook the groats, and then we end up eating all of that. So if such an amount of this poison gets into our body, then we shouldn't be surprised that the body simply falls apart. If you want to take care of your health, pay attention to the first pillar of proper cleansing, proper detoxification of the body. I wrote about this in my book, Świadomi Detox. We start taking care of ourselves, cleansing our bodies by first stopping poisoning ourselves. We need to identify toxic substances, where they are, what is poisoning us, and limit them as much as possible. If you already know that these bags and roasting sleeves are harmful to us, then let's just stop doing it. Let's stop poisoning ourselves any further. This is the first pillar. Later, we will use various detoxification methods. But of course, it's not just plastic that poisons us. There are many poisons around us, which is why there are people who are aware that it's hard to be healthy in a poisoned world. But it is possible if you know how to behave, what you need to eliminate from your life, and how to support your body. I encourage you to check out my book, Świadomi Detox. There you will find all the essential information. However, for those who are skeptics and need to read all the scientific studies themselves and analyze them, oh darling, then I invite you as well. Take a look at what I wrote for you in the description below this video. I've included some very interesting links there specifically to scientific studies where you can see and read everything and look at the charts and how it affects our bodies and what incredible negative changes plastic can cause in our bodies. So darling, I hope you'll take this to heart and please let me know what you think about this topic. Do you use plastic for baking or cooking? Maybe you used to, but now you're aware and you don't do it anymore. Maybe this awareness has come to you now after watching this video, and from today, you'll never cook your food in a plastic bag again because you don't want to consume plastic. Thank you, my dears, for your attention. Write, comment, subscribe to my channel, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you lots and lots of health. See you in the next videos. This has been Natalia Samarek, Zdrowie Uroda Fitoterapia.